Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an opinion piece that was published on June 12th in the New York Times, written by Gail Collins. Trump trembles, Mitt's on the move. She and the left and the Democrats and the legacy media, just in general, they're all trying to push this idea that Mitt Romney is a threat to fucking Trump. Neocon RINO shitbag Romney. The man who helped the Democrats turn as they sold industry in Massachusetts to, companies like in China and shit, and turned Massachusetts into a fucking giant parking lot. All right, he's somehow a threat to Trump. Yeah, well, him and Bain Capital are making shit tons of money while he's fucking governor. All right, well, his buddy's at Bain Capital, because I don't think he was officially affiliated with them when he was the governor. But when they were making money, buying shit, all right, saddling them with the debt they created, and then piecing it out, yeah, the American people are going to see him as someone they should look to in regards to Trump if they're a fucking Republican or a conservative. Yeah. Oh, he turned, a good example. I love the revisionist history, like with Dunkin' Donuts. He turned Dunkin' Donuts around when he literally bought the company, gave it the debt that they created when they did, and, saddled all the franchisees with it. And in spite of him, they turned the fucking company around. But yet he's the one who supposedly did it when it was profitable before him and Bain Capital got their grubby fucking hands on it. All right, this is the guy that Trump is fucking worried about. Yeah, okay, sure. Go smoke another one there, Gail. Just remember that nothing counts if you don't vote, which you add that in there because Mitt doesn't actually pose a threat. That's you hedging your bets, as it were. Go, Mitt. Back in 2016, when Donald Trump was elected, the world was so upside down. You might have believed almost any prediction of our strange future, but I'll bet you'd still have been skeptical. Skeptical if somebody told you Mitt Romney would turn into an inspirational political figure. Yeah, because it's not true. He isn't one. You can say that he is, but you're full of fucking shit. He's a rhino neocon scumbag that the only reason why he got into his Senate seat is because Mormons vote for fucking Mormons. He had the Mormon church's blessing. They're like a fucking cult. And so he went to Utah, okay, Mormon fucking Central, where the fucking cult is the strongest, and got elected. Do you think he would get reelected in Massachusetts? Fuck no. There's no way he would get elected in Massachusetts as a senatorial candidate there. New Hampshire? Do you think that would happen here? Fuck no. Do you want where I live? No. Do you want to know why? Because people who commuted to Massachusetts watched him destroy the fucking industry in that state. They wouldn't vote for him here. The only place you could get elected was fucking Utah. So yeah, he's so fucking inspirational. Yeah, he's got the people behind him. Just keep pushing your bullshit, woman, because you're fucking full of it. Yes, the same guy who ran one of the most boring presidential races in modern history. There is no question it's not going to be poor. Okay, early this year, he turned into an impeachment hero. Now he's calling for a voice against racism and marching for Black Lives Matter. So basically, he's taking a knee and he's virtue fucking signaling. And the thing is, all right, him and Trump don't exactly get along, all right? And he's resentful that when Trump got in, Romney thought he was going to get a cabinet position, and Trump told him to go fuck himself. Went, no, you're not. So, of course, he hates Trump. He's a never-Trump rhino neocon piece of shit. So you're trying to say that a never-Trumper, okay, who clearly is going to go for something like impeachment, is a stand-up guy because he's a never-fucking-Trumper. That's what you're getting at here. And this idea of voicing against a voice against racism and marching for Black Lives Matter, basically he's pandering, and he's alienating himself from the Republican base by doing it. He's hurting himself, and you're trying to make it sound like he's doing a good thing, and driving Donald Trump nuts. No, he's not. No holier a grail than that. Yet there's still one more little thing. Mitt can't bring himself to say that people should support Joe Biden. He's keeping his own voting plan secret. There's a lot of speculation he's going to write in his wife's name like he did in 2016. So a Trump deranged, never Trumping spurg is an inspiration. And you're upset that he isn't saying he isn't endorsing the senile old fuck who's on the opposite side of the fucking, false left-right paradigm. Okay. But yet he's so great and he's got Trump scared. That's a pretty pale rebellion. It's like saying you're going to sit home on election day and sulk. Oh, kind of like a lot of people did that, went out to vote for Hillary. Did the next day they voted and sulked, or they didn't vote expecting her to win and then they were sulking. Same story for Alaska's Lisa Murkowski, who says she's struggling to figure out what to do. Last week, Murkowski responded fervently in support of former Defense Secretary Jim Mattis's anti-Trump essay, in which he urged Americans to unite without him and create a better world. Well, Mattis is a deep state piece of shit. He wanted to do certain things, and Trump gave him his fucking walking papers because he wanted to fucking get us into wars like with Iran and shit. So, yeah, all right, she's endorsing what he said, and he's a warmongering piece of shit that tried to get this country into a war with Iran. Yeah, real great person to be fucking looking towards to say, look at the Republicans that are standing up against Trump. That's why Mattis wrote the essays, because he couldn't do his warmongering bullshit and got sent walking. I don't know how a man saying, let's build a better world without Trump, that wants to literally, bomb the shit out of fucking nations like Iran, all right, has an idea of what a better world is. There are, everybody knows, a great many things the country needs to do to make a brighter tomorrow. But without him, what part does seem to be the critical priority? Excuse me? We've had a record economy. Country's doing good. You just can't push your progressive fucking state authoritarian bullshit where it's top down. And you don't like that. Cheers to both Murkowski and Romney. It's true that neither of them is up for re-election this year. But if you cast your eyes across the Republican Senate majority, you'll see many folks in safe seats who are nevertheless afraid to cross the president, even when his behavior causes them to go home and weep or drink or sit up all night playing solitaire on the computer. Because that's not what's happening. They actually support what the president's doing. We've actually got, someone who's in office that is strong. And instead of the Republicans bending over and getting fucked up the ass by the Democrats, all right, they are now standing up to the Democrats. And because they are, you don't like it. Because you're not getting what you want. And because you aren't, you're now realizing that it's a situation where you can't win. So now you're all butthurt. And you're like, wee! And you're literally trying to prop up a neocon piece of shit, RINO, waste of fucking space as someone that Trump is afraid of. It's not going to work. All right, Murkowski, she's a fucking joke. People in Alaska are going, we're pretty fucking conservative. We like our guns. We like all this conservative shit, and you're kind of going against us. Do you think if she wasn't in a safe seat right now, she'd be doing what she was doing, being a Trump deranged spurg? Of course not. And you're trying to say, well, these other people in the safe seats, they won't stand up to the president because they agree with him. You just can't understand that or grasp it. You may remember that Romney was a Republican candidate for president in 2008 and 2012, but it's okay if you don't. Neither campaign was very memorable, although I personally will never forget when he placated social conservatives by announcing that the only reason he had supported abortion rights as governor of Massachusetts was that he really didn't understand what an embryo was. So basically, when he walks shit back because he's now looking at the fact of Mormons are very, pro-life, you're upset that he flip-flopped and showed that he's a piece of shit, that he's a RINO neocon lying sack of shit who said he supported something to get elected in Massachusetts and now changes his fucking tune to get elected in Utah. I mean, because he did that with Utah. He actually did it when he was running for president, too, I should say. I forgot about that. I think he didn't do it in 2008, I don't think, but I believe he did it in 2012. But when he ran for Utah, he adamantly, well, I didn't know any better. I was just stupid about what an embryo is. That's how he got them, besides the church, the cult of Mormon, giving their blessing of him and anointing him, all right? That's how he fucking won over Mormon votes, was saying, oh, I was just stupid. There are two ways to look at his current profile in courage. It's not a profile in courage, but whatever. One is that Romney is a very rich 73-year-old and a safe seat who can do pretty much anything he wants. Another is that it's still courageous. Take your pick. No, it's not courageous. He's a little weasel. All right? What he's doing isn't courageous. He's a scumbag. He's a weasel. What he's trying to do, all right, is be a butthurt bitch and not be called out as a butthurt bitch. That's not courageous. That's being a coward. All right. When you're trying to say, well, Trump is an evil orange bad man, and you're talking shit about him, and you're literally trying to, demonize him because he showed what a scumbag you are, you're a coward. Murkowski was once elected to the Senate on a write-in vote after a Tea Party candidate won the Republican nomination. Since then, she's bucked her president on repealing Obamacare, but supported him on everything from cabinet nominees to impeachment, all while busily delivering tons and tons of stuff to Alaska's powerful energy interests. She's got a certain amount of independence, but you still got to you still have to get those drilling rights. Now, this is what's messed up. You're trying to hold her up, and it isn't working for you. And the thing is, she had to be written in, and she squeaked by, if I remember correctly, against that Tea Party candidate. And so she wanted to keep Obamacare, which is complete shit, probably because you have a lot of people that don't qualify for actual health care in Alaska, and she thinks that them getting Medicare and shit like that, she is going to get reelected by saying, well, look, I kept your Medicare. Medicare is shit. But, let's just ignore that fact. And you don't like the fact that she supported him on cabinet nominees and in impeachment. But here you are, thinking that you're going to hold her up and people are going to look at her as a good thing. Could it be you brought these things up towards the end of the article for that very fact? That you can't just brush those things aside and you don't think people are going to read all the way through? And then you got to take a shot at her about the energy interests. You do realize that those companies in Alaska employ, either directly or indirectly, large swaths of Alaska's population. Because you have, the truck you have the people that are doing the drilling. You have the people that are doing the surveying. You have for the drilling. You have the people that are transporting the supplies and the equipment. Okay, ever see ice road truckers? You have the people who on that note also fly them in. Stuff like that. You have the people who put the goods together and get them ready to be shipped. You have, and then bring them over to be flown in. You have it's a long chain of direct or indirect employment with, the energy industries that you're bitching about. So what you want is what? All these Alaskans to just become fucking unemployed? Because that's what you're kind of saying when you're saying, well, she's basically sucking energy company dick. There must be a ton of Republican officials who are at least a little tempted to reject the dreaded concept of 4 more years. Actually, no, they're supporting him. You just can't deal with that. So you got to pull out of your ass that there's got to be all these Republicans that just are afraid to speak out against Trump. But if they want credit for showing some spine, they have to follow through and vote for only other real candidates. Vote for the only other real candidate in the race. What, a senile old fuck like creepy Uncle Joe? Are you kidding me? Wow. This is some funny fucking shit. Wow. They're going to show their spine by voting for a senile old fuck. Who can't keep his fucking hands to himself and is creepy as all fucking hell. Otherwise, it's just a wasted vote at best and maybe a real boost for Trump. So what you're saying is they need to vote for Joe Biden even if they don't like Trump. So it's either they can't vote for a third party candidate or write in their wife or anything like that. They have to vote for Biden. Considering we're talking about an electoral system with an electoral college, they're doing that doesn't mean shit. It's just virtue signaling. Perhaps you remember in 2016 when people who would never in a billion years have supported Donald Trump showed their lack of enthusiasm for Hillary Clinton by voting for the Green Party. Oh no, so the third party people ruined it. It wasn't the electoral fucking college that made it so you couldn't get elected. It was the fact that people didn't vote for your anointed Hillary fucking Clinton. So she's bitching about the Bernie bros because a lot of the Bernie bros voted for the Green Party. That's what she's bitching about. The Bernie bros didn't get in line, and she's trying to equate that to Murkowski and fucking Mitt. Mitten's fucking scumbag fucking Romney. Wow. Their defection was enough to turn the tide in several critical swing states. In Michigan, for instance. Actually, no, it wasn't. This is what's funny. You want to bring up Michigan? Let's bring up Michigan, you crazy bitch. So let's see. In Michigan, for instance, Trump won all 16 electoral votes with a margin of 10,704 votes. Green Party candidate Jill Stein got 51,463. Yes, and that was after the fact that in Detroit, when they did the recount, because Stein demanded the recount, they found that there were way more votes that were cast than there were registered voters. Okay, which is why all of a sudden it was, there's nothing to see here. Let's stop the recount in Michigan. That's a documented fact. But see, oh, there's no voter fraud going on. Oh, no, there's no election rigging happening. Oh, no, the Democrats aren't doing shit. But yet, Detroit, prime example of it. So, yeah, bring up Detroit, you stupid bitch, because it makes you look like a complete and total moron doing that when I just brought up a valid point about what happened in Detroit. The White House is already sniping at Romney and Murkowski for the rebellion. Trump vowed to campaign against Murkowski no matter who was running against her, good or bad. If you have a pulse, I'm with you. So he says something like that, and you get upset. Because she isn't, like, being a Republican. She's basically going against the party thinking, well, I'm going to go for Medicare, going to go for Obamacare because Medicare for all, there's a lot of people in Alaska that are on it. And, even though they're conservative and like their guns and everything, I got to look like a lefty shitbag, which most of them would be like, what's fucked up is a lot of those people who are on it could afford to go to the doctor before that shit. Because Bush doctors are very reasonable. They make house calls. They do all that type of shit. They're paid for by the fucking state of Alaska in most cases. All right? Where do you think the premise of the show Northern fucking Exposure came from? It was from the fact that Alaska will train doctors, bring them into these remote communities, and they take care of the people on the state's fucking dime. So she could have got rid of, she could have voted against Obamacare, and they could still be having their doctors take care of shit that they paid for the educations of. But no, she wanted a virtue signal. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McKenna suggested nobody cared if Romney said 3 words outside on Pennsylvania Avenue. The words presumably were Black Lives Matter, but we have already learned that McKenna is a spokesperson who has a certain amount of trouble with speaking. Oh, really? She's made you all look like fucking idiots. She has a trouble with speaking? She has destroyed each and every one of you motherfuckers and your bullshit that have gone up during these press conferences and tried to fucking go, ooh, I get you, bitch. And she's like, oh, really? And then she fucking verbally bitch slapped every last one of your motherfuckers that have tried to pull that. Nice try. Nice fucking try. You're in La La Land, bitch. You are fucking out there, all right? You are, like, smoking some really fucking good shit if you really think this is reality. I'd like to know who the fuck your dealer is because I think they're lacing your shit. Maybe you ought to go get it tested. But, she added, I would note this, that President Trump won 8% of the black vote. Mitt Romney won 2% of the black vote. Actually, the two candidates got pretty much the same African-American support, which would be minimal. No, this is what's funny. 8% and 2%. He's literally got 4 times the amount of support that Romney did. And you're trying to play that down. And what scares you is he broke the 20% approval mark with blacks in this country. And that's how conveniently he did that shortly before this whole George Floyd fucking situation that, you people have been ramping up and fucking exploiting, because there's this saying that if a Republican can get 20% of the black vote, a Democrat will never get elected again. If the Republicans can get 20% of the black vote. Seems to me that when you exploit the situation, when that's happening, it seems to me like you're doing it because of that fact that he broke the 20% mark. Just an opinion on what the left and the Democrats have been doing with this whole situation with Floyd. The difference between them, of course, is that Romney's been growing on racial issues while Trump has been shrinking, if it's possible to get tinier. So basically not pandering and catering to the left's bullshit about systematic fucking racism, which is a fallacy. All right. Romney is somehow a good person and Trump is bad. Evil orange, bad man. Yee! Grow up. Oh my God. A lot of Republicans who are horrified by the president don't have the gumption to criticize him at all. No, a lot of the Republicans aren't horrified. They agree with him. After Trump tweeted that 75-year-old demonstrator who was seriously injured by police in Buffalo might have been an Antifa provocateur, reporters concerned cornered Senator Marco Rubio on what he thought. Rubio pleaded ignorance. I don't read Twitter. I only write on it. Well, here's the thing. See, they also leave out the fact that the guy had his hand going towards the gun on the officer's fucking belt when he got pushed away with one hand. You never, ever, ever take your fucking hand and move it towards a police officer's utility belt. You don't. All right, especially towards their gun. That's what this guy did. Go watch the fucking video. That's what the guy did. All right, he was told to back off. He wouldn't. His hand went out towards the officer's gun, and the officer was like, "Oh fuck no." Now, it sucks that he fell and hit his head, and I feel bad for him. But you never take your fucking hand and move it towards the officer's gun. He's lucky that he didn't get fucking tased by one of the other officers standing there when when his hand looked like it was reaching for the cop's gun. You people are fucking disgusting. You ignore key facts like that. And you think that, oh, well, no one will notice. So give M&R credit for taking a stand. But this thing's not about voting or going for the libertarian or write-in Brad Pitt is crazy. They've got to back Biden. Then, after he takes office, they can attack every single thing he tries to do for the next 4 years. Everybody wins. No. Everybody doesn't fucking win. You guys win. Because right now you control the fucking House, and you think you're still going to control the House, and you think with the fact of we'll get Biden in as president, and we'll get all the shit that we want, all right? And the Republicans can just whine, bitch, piss, moan, and complain, and they won't have anything that they want. How is that a fucking win-win? No, that means you win, and everyone else in this country fucking loses, you sleazy, scummy bitch. That isn't a win-win. That's a fucking win-lose. You know it, too. I mean, this is why I covered this article, because this is some complete ridiculous fucking horse shit. This bitch, what the fuck is her name? Gail. She's fucking nuts. She is seriously fucking nuts. She thinks that this shit's going to fly and people are going to buy it, that Romney's courageous and wow. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.